Hey yo folks, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to LEGO Star Wars set number 75359, 302nd Ahsoka's Clone Trooper Battle Pack. This set retailed for $20 US, released in 2023, contains 4 cool figures, and contains a surprisingly small 108 pieces. This set is pretty small, so let's get straight into the review. Due to the set being really small, we're going to be looking at both of the builds simultaneously, starting off with a little turret. There's not a whole lot to write home about it, especially considering that we've gotten much better versions, such as in the newer Clone Battle Pack, but it does the job for what it is, and if you take it off, you can just have a regular stud shooter, and as the title suggests, it shoots studs, so just push back here, and like that, and that's the chart. Like I said, we've gotten much better ones, so there's not much to write home about. It gets the job done, so it's okay, and as you can see with our next build, it's got 2 more of these. Speaking of which, for the next of our 2 builds, we got this little speeder, which you could call a speeder, swamp speeder, ISP, whatever you want to call it. For the sake of this video, we're going to call it speeder. We've gotten this set several times before in much bigger size and with a more gray and dark red scheme rather than blue and gray. But it's nice to get a little bit of variety. And as you can see, it's a lot smaller. As you can see, it also has the stud shooters rather than regular cannons, but that's a nice welcome, and as you can guess, they can shoot. And you've got these little sides here which can go up and down to help fit the clone troopers, as well as these clips to help clip on their weapons, like so. Like this on one side, and you got one clone right here. It's a little bit tricky to get in there. That's one clone, and now let's go on the other. There you go. Boom! Look at that. But yeah, it's a really simple build. It's a very small build compared to the previous adaptation of it, but I think it gets the job done. And most of the adaptations of this set would have this back piece movable so it can go side to side, but it's just flat. Well, it's immobile, whatever you want to say. But yeah, I mean, aside from its downsides, it gets the job done. It's a decent build, but let's get to the real stuff, the real meat and potatoes, the minifigures. And let's look at them right now. Rather than looking at them individually, we're going to look at these 3 clone troopers all at once, because they're basically the same. But aside from some differences, for example, these 2 clones have small blasters, while this one has a much longer rifle. Another difference between these 2 clones and this clone is, if you look at the back, 2 of them have a jetpack, while the other one lacks one. But if you remove the jetpack, you can see the back printing is basically the same. They're all the same minifigure, but that's okay, because it's nice to get more 332nd clone troopers. It's great for army builders and all that, and if you take off the head, we got this more nougat color to help better resemble Tamora Morrison, and rather than have the old angry cold face. Oops, but yeah, even though this is pretty much the same piece, it's nice to get one of these. I do hope that in more sets with clone troopers we get a little more expression, like how in later sets involving the angry clone face we got more of a smirk or sometimes even a grin and all that. But yeah, it's really nice to get these figures, especially get more of these jetpacks in blue rather than the classic green that you get with Boba Fett or Mandalorian with silver. But it's really nice to get these figures. Now let's look at the main attraction of this set right now. For the last of our figures, we have Clone Captain Vaughn, who, if it wasn't for 2 particular pieces, would be identical to the other clones. What are those pieces, you may be asking? The first one is obviously the visor, and the second one is the torso. Let's bring in one of the other clones for comparison. As you can see, their torsos are very identical. However, if you look closer at Vaughn's, he has a badge on his front. And if you look at the back, Vaughn has a jetpack sort of print on the back, similar to what Commander Cody has. Speaking of Commander Cody, he has a very similar visor piece to Cody's, which the visor piece is kinda dated, but according to some leaks, we might be getting a new page finder, which might mean you might need a new visor in the future. Speaking of page finder, he of course also comes with an orange page finder in case you want to decorate him or the other clones, which this figure is pretty solid. It's nice to get some more clone captains and whatnot, but if you take off the helmets, they're pretty much identical, and like I was saying in the previous segment, I do wish that he had a more unique face. I would like a little bit more variety, especially with the clone captains and commanders. But otherwise, this is a really cool figure. And it's nice to get some more of these clones, especially some more obscure or unique ones. Now let's look at the rest of the set and my final verdict. Before I close off today's video, I'd like to share a few thoughts and whatnot, which I do think this is a really nice set, although I do feel like it could have been a lot bigger. But for the price of it, I think it's okay. Would I recommend this set? I do, but I feel like $20 is a bit much. Some places, if you're still able to get it, because it's retired at the moment in some sellers, but some places are still selling it. If you're able to get it for like $16 or less, I would get it, but $20 is a bit much. I wouldn't have minded paying something like $30 if you made this build much bigger and maybe added some battle droids and whatnot. But otherwise, for what it is, I think this is a pretty solid set. Anyways, that'll be all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment on all that because it helps, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one!